Python app does not print anything when running detached in Docker. I have a Python 2.7 app which is started in my Dockerfile. Main.py prints some strings when it is started and goes into a loop afterwards. As long as I start the container with the it flag, everything works as expected. And I can see the same output via logs later. If I try to run the same container with the D flag, the container seems to start normally, but I can't see any output. But the container still seems to run. Attached does not display anything either. Any ideas what's going wrong? Does print behave differently when ran in background? Docker version.
Finally, I found a solution to see Python output when running daemonized in Docker, thanks to Adamatal Balkan over at GitHub. Answering it here myself for further reference. Using unbuffered output with instead of solves the problem. You can see the output now, both stir and stout, via YUREF. What it means by Python UREF is greater than Python help, grep, u.
In my case, running Python with you didn't change anything. What did the trick, however, was to set Python unbuffered equals 1 as environment variable. Edit. Updated Python unbuffered equals 0 to Python unbuffered equals 1 after Lars's comment. This doesn't change the behavior and adds clarity.
If you want to add your print output to your Flask output when running Docker Compose up, add the following to your Docker Compose file. This URL.
See this article which explain detailed reason for the behavior. There are typically 3 modes for buffering. If a file descriptor is unbuffered, then no buffering occurs whatsoever, and function calls that read or write data occur immediately, and will block. If a file descriptor is fully buffered, then a fixed size buffer is used, and read or write calls simply read or write from the buffer. The buffer isn't flushed until it fills up. If a file descriptor is line buffered, then the buffering waits until it sees a new line character. So data will buffer and buffer until it bar? In reality, there's typically a maximum size on the buffer, just as in the fully buffered case. So the rule is actually more like buffer until a new line character is seen or 4096 bytes of data are encountered, whichever occurs first. And nulip, glib, uses the following rules for buffering. So, if use t from Docker document, it will allocate a sudo t, then stout becomes line buffered. Thus Docker run name equals myepit image could see the one line output. And, if just use d, Note was allocated, then, start is fully buffered, one line app started surely not able to flush the buffer. Then, use dt to make start line buffered or add u in Python to flush the buffer is the way to fix it.
频繁出现了，抵抗性selbstheilung。